Goodness gracious. Good morning, my friends. It's been a minute, hasn't it? It's been a minute. Oh, hopefully you have a cup of coffee in front of you. Hopefully you got a smile. Hopefully you got some kids or some animals around you, something to put you in a good mood. Hey, I just can't be the only source of joy in your life, right? Good morning. Happy Wednesday, October 30th at 9 a.m. Actually, 9:07. I'm a little behind today. But you know what? I'm ahead of where I was. That's the important thing. At least it's not 9:10 or 9:30, right? And I'm definitely ahead of my content production game. I haven't been live for, goodness, what, a week and like 2 days? Is that right? No, it would have been Sunday. It would have been the Sunday before I left for Dallas was the last time I was live. So that would have been, oh, that's about right. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So a week and 2 days, a week and 3 days, whatever you want to call it right there. Either way, welcome back. For your first timers, I am Patrick Almond, and I have a 3 times a week live show here at Stop Doing Nothing Media, where we talk about life, marketing, lead generation, and basically just different ways to build your life and do things better, more efficiently, so you have more time for the fun things and you can kind of let the business build itself and run on its own because we're big into automation here. So if it's your first time watching, again, welcome. Happy October 30th, Wednesday, as we sleep into cooler temperatures, unless you're here in the Midwest and part of our state's on fire right now. So we've got some challenges up here. But wherever you're watching from, please make sure, whether it's live or recorded, just leave a comment and about how your day is going and about, some things what you have planned for the end of the year. And that's what I'm looking at really this year. Today's show is going to be about kind of a quick recap since the last time I talked to you, kind of a tech recap, a personal recap kind of thing. But as a good reminder, as a morning reminder, there's something I want you to know. And that is that a couple things. Always got like a list of items here that I want to remind myself in the morning. And two of them, I've got a long list, but today we'll pick number one, the fear never goes away. So the fear of doing big, ambitious, hairy, cool ass things never goes away. So kind of have to learn to live in the fear and love in the fear and work through it. And along with that, don't forget that your self-talk today is really, really important, okay? What we say to ourselves, what we believe, what we take from the things we see online and offline is really, really important. So that little space, where they say that little space between your ears is really, really important. Please remember that today. The things you self-talk, the things you have in front of your eyeballs, the people you interact with, all that stuff is really, really important. And you may have to filter it. And don't forget, if there's some crappy things in your life, you may absolutely have to take them out. Okay, real quick, not real quick. I'm much of a talker. You don't know that. But yeah, I haven't done a show since, like I said, whatever the 20th, whatever that Sunday was, the 20th, right there. So I apologize for those of you that like watching on a regular basis, and I'd like some feedback from you also. So while I've been offline, one of the things I've done is I've looked at stats for this show, stats for my ads, stats for my live shows, stats for my shorts, stats for my recorded stuff. And for those of you that are in some of the Facebook groups I'm in, you'll see that I've been chatting a little bit about show times and when this show should be. So if you have any feedback on this, I'd love it. Right now I go live 3 times a week when I'm on schedule, 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then oftentimes Sunday, I'll do a deeper, longer show where I dive into some tech issues. And we do like a lot of screen sharing to help people that are in the high-level CRM world. So when I'm on my content game, I'm cranking out about 5 hours of live content a week, which is then repurposed into other stuff. But I'm kind of curious, would an evening show be better for you or a morning show? Because all of my stats show me that people are most active on YouTube and most people watch my content later in the week from like 4 to like 7. Like there's a chart that shows when people are really online consuming content. And in my world, it's from 4 to 7 sometime, in the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday timeframe. So I'm thinking about switching it up to making an evening show. But if you've got some feedback on that, please let me know, because I just want to know where people want. The content's always there 24/7. I just know for the live interactions, what would you prefer? So give me some feedback on this. So like I said, you can do it live You can do it if you're listening to the podcast, and you can do it if you are watching the recorded show also. Today I thought I would talk about a little bit about the trip I made to Dallas and some of the lessons I pulled away from that. So yeah, one of the things I've been trying to do a little bit better is when I go to a conference like that to immediately maybe get down some lessons. Not necessarily the technical lessons. The technical lessons are easy. It was a technical conference, okay? But some of the life lessons, some of the abstract lessons, if you will. So I've got a list of those I was going to run through you today if you're interested. And if you happen to attend this event with me, or you've learned something significant when you attended a conference, because I always learn stuff. I always learn, and a lot of the stuff I learn has nothing to do with the conference itself. It has to do with before, after hours, after I leave the conference, the connections I make after a conference. So I just thought I'd go really quick through a list of things that I've learned. And I had like 5 lessons I was going to go through. And then right before the show, I was trying to make a second cup of coffee. And so every now and then you'll see me sip from my coffee cup right here. But if you notice something, I'm not savoring it. And that's because there's no coffee in there. So your bonus lesson number 1 is when you make coffee, make sure you put coffee in the coffee pot, okay? Because what I have in front of me is a nice kind of hot cup of water. That's what I've learned, okay? We are a Keurig family here, and the coffee was for some reason. I don't know. Either way, there was a coffee pot on the counter when I was making the coffee, and I realized that after the water was flowing. So I've got a nice cup of hot water, and I'm just thankful that I did not put anything in it because I've done that before also. And you might be asking, Patrick, how could you not see there's coffee flowing? It's a black cup. When there's a dark container and you're putting clear water into it, you're not going to see whether it's coffee or not. So I made this mistake once of also doing this with, and I put cream and sugar. So it was hot water, as far as I knew it was coffee. I put cream and sugar in there, thought it was a little odd colored, went to taste it and had a big old mouth of hot cream and sugar. Fortunately, I caught that this time. So it's just water. Lesson number 1, always put coffee in the coffee pot, okay? Let's jump into the 5 lessons I've learned out of this Dallas trip, okay? And not just the Dallas trip, but the drive there, hanging out with friends in the morning and the evening, after hours activities, and the trip back, if you will, because it's been a long week. I've been away from the home office for 7 days at least. Okay, so for those of you that are familiar with the event, there was a HighLevel CRM as a product that we are resellers of, and it's an amazing product. And if you ever want to get organized in your business, you know you'll have to reach out to me, because I will hook you up with our skills, and with this product, we will get your business so organized you won't even know what to do with the extra time. And so one of the things I did, which was kind of cool, is I booked a room in Dallas for the day before the event to hold my own event. So I believe that was the 20th, Monday the 20th, or the 21st, whatever that Monday was. And so technically the event I was attending started on the evening of that Monday. So what I did is I booked a room from 9 to 1 on that Monday, invited lots of people. We had about somewhere between 25 and 30 people RSVP for my free event, 9 to 1, how to go from being a noob to being a badass when it comes to business and your CRM planning. And so I get there in the morning for the event, for my event. It was at a co-working space 3 blocks away from the main event, the Statler Hotel. Actually, 3 blocks north is where it was. And there's people in the hallway already, including my co-presenter from Step It Up Academy, Thomas Keenan. And no one is inside of any kind of rooms. Everyone's just standing in the hallway. And this is about 20 minutes ahead of time. And so I'm looking around the floor I was on, and it looked like there was nobody on the floor. And the building itself was pretty vacant. So this is supposed to be a co-working space that had an office to rent out. So I thought that it would be like a nice giant co-working, front desk, and then be an administrative assistant there to show me which conference room was ours that we could have for the day and how to hook up the TV and where the coffee was, right? So we're in this long hallway, and there is just nobody there. Nobody's opened up any rooms or anything. And I didn't really know what to do. So there were 5 of us. There to Thomas and I, and 4 other people in the hallway. And so we just started talking in the hallway, just to basically get the conversation going, because 9 o'clock had come and gone, and I did not know where my co-working space was or how to get into anything. And I eventually checked my email, and I had some directions there last minute to get in the space. So my first lesson was, and I didn't know this about doing this next year and other future events, is that I thought I had communicated and planned out my pre-event, and with the space where I was renting it, I thought I had, just done a really good job of planning that. Turns out I could have done better there. Meaning that what they do is they send the access room. They sent the access room to set up my event. They sent that like 15 minutes before my event started. So at that point in time, we're already there. We're kind of ready to go. If the event started at 9 o'clock, so we were raring to go, like at 8:40, 8:45. So that event space, if you're here for watching, it was Connected Co-working in Dallas. You got to tell people, man, more than 10, 15 minutes ahead of time how to get in the room and which room they should be using. So that was a big mistake on my part. The next year, this event is at Hilton Anatoly, I believe, in North Dallas. And so I need to reach out to them and start planning that ahead of time, either to have my pre-event there. I'm not going to call it a pre-event, okay? We're just going to call it my event, the noob to badass event. That's what it was. But even though it's a year ahead, I need to start reaching out to places now and get my slot reserved and make sure I know what the communication protocol is. Because the 2 things I learned is, number 1, they didn't send my information very far ahead of time. And number 2, I actually thought this was a co-working space. No, I think what it is it's a co-working organization, and they just have different resources all over the place, because there was no co-working space. Once I got access, there was just a small conference room off of this hallway. But in this hallway, there was no, welcome to our co-working space. Enter, and here's all of our resources. No, I think this is just like an entity, like an LLC or something, and they have different meeting spaces all over Dallas, and this is just one of their meeting spaces I happen to rent. So I really, that was really a little bit frustrating frustrating and probably a little bit depressing on my part, that I started off my event with people just standing in the hallway wondering what to do. So that's why I started the conversation in the hallway. So I need to start planning for next year's event and get my RSVPs going. My partner, Thomas Keenan, thinks we could do an even bigger room. Well, out of the 25 people that registered, we had 15 that showed up, and we had a very full room. A lot of cool things came out of it. We shared a lot of good content. We had the guys, we had Walter Bayless from HighLevel Suite talk to us about the importance of lead generation and their tool they use to help you get more and better leads. So again, if you ever want to talk lead generation or how to improve the lead flow in your company, please reach out to me, and I will and we'll make you look good. Okay, so lesson number 1 was that Monday morning. I could have planned that so much better. A couple good things came out of it. The event. First of all, the event. Once we got in, and Thomas and I and Walter got in our grooves, the event was amazing. We got nothing but compliments about the event. And it was a little bit challenging because it was a small room, and there were about 10 or 15 of us crammed in this small room, but we knocked it out. I got some good footage out of it, so I need to get that up online for those of you that want to watch it. But I could have planned that event better. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, from Walter and probably some other booze and some hallway discussions I had, I learned that once again, I am really overthinking my marketing, my own personal lead generation, and my marketing. And I need to do a better job of that. So I had some introspection there. And this probably happened not Tuesday, but not Monday, but Tuesday morning. Once I started going to some of the sessions, I just realized that as I was watching some of the vendors and I was having some hallway discussions, I just realized that I may be working way too hard on my own lead generation. I need to simplify. And I'm just, it's just one of those review things, I think, that I like seeing when I get away from my routine, from my churn, if you will, okay? As much as I love my home office, I like getting out. And the nice part about getting out, either to a coffee shop or hanging out with friends or to a conference of some sort, is you get some new ideas and you get some new juices flowing. That's one of the main reasons I even go to conferences, is to have some new ideas and some new juices flowing. So that was really good for me. But yeah, out of that, probably I learned that business wise, I'm working way too hard on my own lead generation. The third thing I learned is that I am not using AI well enough. So there was a session, I believe it was Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. I can't remember. One of the keynote speakers was talking about one of the, not this. So I learned this from one of the keynote speakers and a hallway discussion with a gentleman, a really brilliant copywriter named Jim Edwards. So at the Statler Hotel, um, I noticed that I do a lot of really good learning and have a lot of really great discussions on the couches. Okay, not in the big ballroom where all the keynotes and not in the breakouts, but like on the hallway discussions. And you've heard this before, I'm sure. Hallway discussions can make or break a conference. Okay, had some amazing hallway discussions. So between the keynote and a good hallway discussion with Jim Edwards, I've learned that it's possible to basically take an AI. So right now you and most of the world are just using AI to generate content and to get really simple answers of things. I wasn't paying attention or just learning myself or just learning better how to use AI. And there at this event in the past has it been the past 7 days? Oh, it'll be past 8 days because I probably learned this last Tuesday. I've learned that basically you can train an AI to know who you are and to speak in your voice. And that may be very obvious to some people, but it wasn't obvious to me. I was using AI and training it how to speak in a voice, but I didn't realize that I could take something like a Claude or a Chat GPT and say, hey, my name is Patrick Almond. Okay. And then now the AI knows who you are. And you can start just dumping in information about you personally, and it will learn, obviously, and remember this stuff. And the more you feed it content every single day, the more it learns your personality and it's and how to talk like you. And so between one of the keynote speakers and Jim Edwards, I was learning about how people are doing really cool things with training an AI very, very well, not just a couple of statements here and there, but getting, and this is what's going to cause me probably eventually to pay for a Claude or pay for a Chat GPT, is the fact that you can continuously feed it, all day long or randomly, just information about yourself. And what I've done, for example, I'm doing this on Chat GPT right now because that's what's installed on my Mac, is I'm feeding it a bunch of I am statements and I do statements and I believe statements, and this is my history statements. So I've fed it like my youth, some of my youth history information, my career path, the places I've worked for, my wife's names, my daughter's names, information about them, information about what I believe. I'm a big fitness fanatic. I like to plan ahead. These are the tools I use. I'm a Mac, just all this random information. And when I start talking in I statements, some of the AI tool, specifically Chat GPT-4, and then I start using it, asking it to generate content, it's coming up with just much better content. And I didn't realize, or maybe again, it was just right there in front of my eyes and my eyes weren't open. That's the whole goal of a lot of these tools. It's not to you can use it to just generate content in general, or say, generate content in this voice or humorous. A lot of times these content tools, you can give it a tone, right? You can give it a tone of how you want content generated. Well, the tone I want is the Patrick Allman tone. A little bit of smartassery, a little bit of sarcastic. I'm always down for puns and any references to any Naked Gun or Police Squad movies. And so the content that's coming out now, specifically out of Chat GPT-4, is a little bit better. And this is going to eventually, I think, guide me to write a book. I may have to hire a Jim Edwards or a really good copywriter to do it, but the process that Jim Edwards uses is just brilliant. Basically, he goes through this iterative process of extracting information out of your brain. Let's say he extracts 5 bullet points, and then on each one of those he extracts more information and more information until he's able to train an AI model to generate really great content in your voice. So that was kind of another revelation for me. Like I said, that came from 2 places. That may have been, part of the keynote from Billie Jean. I saw Tuesday, along with a couch conversation with Jim Edwards. So what of Tom? Have you looked into Hey Levi for brand identity using AI to understand your customer and your stance like trustworthy? No, you know what? I've heard of that, Tom. Thanks for bringing that up. I have heard. Oh, goodness gracious, that thing is huge. Let's get that comment. Let's see what Tom has here. Have you looked into Hey Levi? Let me look that up right now. I know I've heard of that tool, right? I know I've heard of that tool before. Which AI model does that use, Tom? Do you know? Because one of the things I'm looking at also is these tools. Here we go. The Prompt List AI Content Creator. Create your brand playbook in 2 minutes. That always scares me when someone says it's really, really easy. So, Hey Levi, create a brand playbook. I guess that's what you're referring to, right? Oh, okay. Against, best, action, target audience, brand playbook wizard. Interesting. Well, I like the fact that they white label it. No, so no, Tom. I have not dug into this deeper. Um, huh. They use HighLevel. I wonder. That was it's I've the keynote speaker platforms. It's one of. Is that what you were meaning right there? When you say unsure, it's I've. I'm not quite sure what that means right there, Tom. But no, I'll keep this up and I'll take a look at it because something else I have learned about AI also is when you go to the raw AI tools, when you go to the raw AI tools like the Claudes or the Chat GPTs, that's just it. They're very raw and they're hard, in my opinion, for the casual user to use. You need tools like Hey Levi and some other tools I've seen, which are almost like a nice front end to these large language models. Okay, and it looks like that's what Hey Levi may be. Looks like there's a free level and a brand narrative, high level agency. Oh wait, look. Okay, so it specifically works with HighLevel. So they even have HighLevel listed on their site. And let's see, who are some of these names? I see some faces on here. I just don't know who they are. But no, I'll take a look at it. I recognize some of these faces. Um, but no, thank you. I'm always for, because I'm going to pay for something pretty soon. That's what I'm going to pay for something pretty soon. So I'm basically starting to do research. In my opinion, I was going to pay for either Claude directly or Chat GPT directly. But I'm open for other stuff. So what's been your experience of using this, Tom? Thanks for this, by the way. I'll keep this up and play with this afterwards to see if there's something I need to. But the idea of creating a brand playbook and the idea of something I can white label, that both those sound pretty cool because I've got several clients that basically need a brand playbook. So good stuff. Good stuff there. Thanks, Tom. So yeah. Anyway, that was what my third lesson to come out of the past 7 days is the fact that I am just not using AI smartly. Okay, and I am very cynical. I'm not going to say I'm very cynical. I am less cynical than I was, but I am cynical about just jumping into AI, head first. I'm very much slowly dipping my toe in, and when you like have to dip into like a really hot body of water, or more specifically a really cold body of water, and you just slowly slide in. That's what I'm using. That's how I'm using my AI. Is I'm just being very careful on my approach to it. I've also vowed to do a lot of my AI in my project management tool, ClickUp, where I'm doing document and project management now. So I'm also very apprehensive about expanding out my tool set too much. Okay, those of you who have watched the show before know that right behind the camera is I have the 10 disciplines of EO or EOS on here. And one of them is put everything in one place. So when it comes to AI stuff, I've been trying to, definitely put everything in one place, and that's all been ClickUp for me. So yeah, and yeah, you're right. You're right, Tom. Change is hard. I'm okay with change. I am not resistant to change. It's just that, there are certain topics, and one of them being AI, which I am just not going to be one of those. Because I'm one of those tech guys where, if I learn something and I talk about it and I tell people to use it, there will be people that 100% use it. Okay, all of us are influencers. Okay, Tom's an influencer who's watching. I'm an influencer. When you have an opinion on something, people will start to use it. And so if I, start jumping into AI, and I tell people you have to use this, and this is going to replace everything, this is going to rock your world, there will be people that will believe that, and it may throw some people in the deep end of the pool. So I'm just very cautious about this whole world of AI. But thank you, Tom, for Hey Levi. It just looked like a cool tool, and now it's on my list of things to review. Actually, I need to take this Hey Levi thing, open it up in Safari, and then add it to my things I need to read list. So let's come over here. Let's go to the Hey Levi website, and let's come here and say, somehow add this darn thing to my reading list. Can we add this to my reading list? Here we go. Add this stupid tool to my reading list. Wait, here we go. Gotta find the right tool, right? Click on open in news, add to reading list. There we go. That's what that was. Okay. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. That is now in my reading list of things I have to review in Safari. So you're going to be seeing some more AI content come out of me. One of the things I will probably super resistant to is I can't ever see me being the kind of guy that does like an AI avatar that talks for me. And the reason I bring this up is because in my reading and learning, I learned that there's a podcast or a live show someplace, there's a radio show, like a real over-the-air radio show someplace that has replaced their live talent with AI avatars. So people are actually like using these in like live shows. And for those of you who have looked into the large language model with Google's Notebook, you know that you can, if you haven't done this yet, go to Google's Notebook large language model and give it a topic or a web page or something and use the podcast generator. That thing is actually good enough to generate 2 human sounding characters that sound like they're recording a podcast about your topic. Those are some of the reasons why I'm very cautious about the AI world, because we're talking about, a lot of times you'll see people talk online about how, oh, the future of this and the future of that, and AI is going to be dangerous in the future. And AI is progressing a lot faster than I thought it would have. And so there are times now where I can feed it in the Google version of AI. I can feed it any kind of website. I can feed it the Hey Levi website. I can feed it CNN.com, and it would generate. It takes like 5 minutes, and it generates a complete 2-person conversation about your topic, and they sound real. And that, which is kind of something that I saw a week or two ago, that kind of made my jaw drop and made me realize that I needed to be very, very careful with this technology. The fourth thing I probably learned out of the conference in my notes here is I really missed the human connection. I get most of my value from conferences, from either breakout sessions or from hallway conversations. I love a good keynote. I'm a keynote speaker myself. I love the information that's shared. Oftentimes it's inspiration or motivational, which is always good. But if I'm ever at a conference and somebody wants to step out in the hallway and have a good business or personal conversation while a keynote's going on, I would always rather take that hallway conversation. I miss the early morning breakfasts, the coffees, the late night dinners, the laughing, the being just having fun, staying up late and just laughing until your gut hurts. I really, really miss that. And I just realized it had been a while since I'd been to a conference. And I'm like, oh man, a while back, one of my goals was to attend, I picked a number like, 5 to 10 conferences a year, and I haven't kept up on that. And so when I was able to just drive down 3 hours to Dallas from Oklahoma City and interact with, 1,000 people from Sunday, so basically I count it from Sunday through Thursday, basically. When I count that, I just realized, oh, how awesome this was to be around people who use the products I use, who think like I do, and have a lot of the same goals and aspirations I do. So I'm going to be obviously looking at my calendar more, making sure I can get to more events, either as a speaker or as an audience member. For this particular event, there is a super VIP level or a VIP level. I'm going to definitely try and be all over that, which means next year, if you have a certain level, this particular event next year is not just a 2.5-day event. It would be a 3 or a 4-day event for me. And if you count my pre-event, probably be more like a 4 or 5-day event for me. So I just really missed the human connection, human interaction. I am a social person. 100%. I'm a social butterfly. It's hard for me to walk into any coffee shop or restaurant or bookstore in Oklahoma City and not just bump into somebody I know either as an acquaintance or as a deep kind of friendship kind of thing. So I just really miss that, and that's just something I'm craving more now, and I will crave more. I just forgotten about it because I've been so heads down, finding clients and growing a company that I haven't done very much socialization. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, Tom brings it up. Very good. Watching the replay has gotten me excited for next year. Good point, Tom. And also the something else that's gotten me excited for next year is the fact that we're moving to a newer, we're moving to a bigger venue, the Hilton Anatoly. We're moving, so this event's actually growing, Tom, which I find kind of cool. I'm gonna miss the intimacy of the downtown Dallas area, Tom. But we're going to basically a full-on conference center, and so I'm hoping there will be more breakouts. I'm hoping the event itself will be longer, and I'm hoping the event tickets will be cheaper. Okay, so but yeah, you should be excited for next year. We've got some cool stuff coming up. And good morning, Carrie Lynn. Finally made it home late night, early morning. My buddy Carrie Lynn, who I've now had a chance to have some meals with and hang out with and learn from, and she's doing some big friends. So it was people like meeting Carrie Lynn that made me realize how much I like that social interaction and how much I miss that. So, Carrie Lynn, it was great to meet you and your lovely assistant. I can't think of her name. Um, Steven, you're gonna have to crash some of those parties next year. Yeah, you should, man. High level, like all conferences, high level doesn't just start at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? Why are my comments coming up big ass on my screen? I don't know. I'm having my tech issues this morning. Um, Her name is Martha. Yeah, yeah, Steven, you really should, man. You can network as much as you want, as much or as little as you want. And I'll give you some examples. There's two things I did this time, which I think really helped with my networking. Number one, I had my pre-event. So, 15 to 20 of us, before we ever stepped into the main event, we had already had a small, intimate group, and we already knew some people. They could be prospects or they could just be business friends. But that pre-event helped. And then something else I did is I had like a private chat, which I think you were in, a private event chat for people that were going to be on site. And I need to start another one for 2025. And that's something, again, both those things are just things I picked up from other people. The more I'm around other people, the smarter I get. And the two things I did, which helped the socialization of my friends and I, is the private chat. Yeah, having that pre-event was, thank you, Carrie. Having that pre-event was really important. Um, oh, hey, Igzan, I'm sorry. I didn't even see you there. Yeah, Igshon, did I get that right? Yeah, good to have you on here, man. Yeah, the investment is pretty. What was that? No, let me finish my thought. Finish my thought. Oh, the pre-event helped, and the private group chat for people that were attending on site really helped also. So I definitely have to get on top of those things for next year also. So let me see what you said here. I'm sorry. Oh, to make sure, Carrie, tell Martha I said hi. I know she was kind of quiet and shy compared to the rest of us, but definitely tell her I said hi. Yes, Steven, you're always welcome to crash these parties. Igsan, again, Igshan. Man, why are my comments coming up so big? Um, yeah, thanks for the voice thing. I missed myself. If you've noticed that my voice is probably even a little bit groggy, and that's just due to like really long days. When I go to a conference, I go all in. I'm up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning exercising for an early breakfast, early networking, early sessions, and then late night. If I'm going to bed before midnight, I'm not trying hard enough, right? So yeah, I know it would be a serious investment for you. Exxon, remind me where you're watching from, because I know, yeah, it's definitely. And I'm hoping that it'll be. I'm hoping that prices might be a little bit better in 2025. I've kind of heard some rumors that because we have a bigger event, we can hold more people, and the prices might drop. And they've already started launching the early bird. Actually, I need to get that. I need to get my affiliate link for the early bird tickets and start promoting that. But yeah, if you can ever make it to an event like this, it is so worth it. And I would also encourage you to overplan your time and find extra things to do the day before, like my event, and or the day after. Set up, yeah, see, Carrie, you're already on the ball. You already purchased your tickets. I have not. And the reason I haven't is because, well, I need to make sure it's in my budget, but I'm also really want, yeah, Sunday, that when I release the event. But I really want to aim for the VIP experience next time if I can possibly swing that. So that's the reason I haven't bought my tickets yet. However, the hotel that we're going to, Hilton Anatoly in North Dallas, I've been to before and I like it. I like the event space. Been there several times, being from the Midwest as a speaker and as an attendee. So I'm very excited for the venue change. I love the Statler, and I'm seriously going to miss downtown, that part of downtown Dallas. But I'm excited about the future for sure. Okay, so my lesson number 4 was I missed the human interaction. Yes, Sunday. I have the ticket page. They actually released there at the event, and they've already had early bird prices, and I've already received one of 1,000 early bird emails I will get from the HighLevel team over the next 340 days. Okay, they are not shy about email. So yeah, they've already started selling the tickets, and hopefully everybody in this chat will be there. The Sundays of the world, and I know Carrie will be there because she already has her ticket, and Stephen and Tom. Hopefully everybody will be there in Dallas next year. South Africa. Oh, very cool. I did not realize that. Woo! Yeah, Sunday, you're like me. I just want to do the VIP. And something else really cool that those of you that were not on site may not realize is that HighLevel is also creating like a content studio, which I'm seriously jealous of. That's in my future. But they're actually creating a content studio that people will be able to like agencies and affiliates will be able to come down and use. So my goal. My goal is to be able to, when I go down next year, is to go down early and find a way to use that content studio. So those are some of the things I'm looking at for next year. Is coming down a couple days earlier, having my own event within a larger space, using their content studio to create some professional content in their environment, and then obviously to attend all the VIP stuff. So it may be maybe a full week next week for Patrick Almond. Who knows? Thanks, Stephen. The price, $2,400 US for VIP. And from what I understand, VIP was a very cool experience also. So that's my goal for next year. That's number 4. And the number 5 has to do with things. Mitchell. Oh, hey, Mitchell. I requested to have extra rooms for the podcast studio. Thank you. Were you running that, Mitchell, or did you attend that? One of my small regrets. Okay, I'm gonna deviate here for a second. One of my small regrets was I did not use that podcast studio, and I did not use that podcast studio and record a podcast. And somebody shared a link with me recently that showed like all the podcasts that were recorded on any given day, and like they were knocking out like somewhere between like 20 and 50 podcast episodes a day in that little kind of in a hallway studio. So that was to me that was just kind of amazing that that so much content came out of that. And I'm curious if that's really a podcast someplace like listed on Apple iTunes or Spotify or whatever. Is that part of the HighLevel podcast? Or are those just audio recordings that people can use, like HighLevel can use for marketing? Or is that actually, part of a podcast that will appear? Because as part of a podcast, they generated episodes for, weeks and days. They've got content forever. So good point, Mitchell. That podcast studio was kind of cool, and I regret not hopping over there and recording something. Which gets back to my 5th point, Dreams API. Who is that? Which person is that? The Dreams API. Who is that? What was I going to say? Oh, so the podcast, the regret of the podcast thing flows well into my 5th one. My 5th point that I wanted my lesson out of the conference is I need to do more content ahead planning, or more planning for content ahead. So I thought that I was going to be able to have time to create some content while I was there. And every single day it slipped my mind because of number 4, because I was so interested in interacting with people, and people want to sit down all the time and have hallway conversations, that I did not get to creating my own content. What you see me doing now. So I had planned on it. I had even bought a Restream subscription because the week before I was going to find some time to record like this show, like have recordings of this show and use Restream to schedule them. I did not do that. So last week at the event, I did not create a single piece of business content, which is extremely lame of me, okay? I was in a business environment with business people. I think the only piece of content that you can find me on is when I was testing Vegemite. Okay, I had some really good friends, Johan and Walter, come in from Inayat Hadi. Okay, Inayat Hadi, nice to meet you. Thanks for watching. What was I going to say? Oh, my only piece of content that I can recall me being on was when I had the taste of Vegemite. And there's a video out there. I take that back. Okay, I did, if you count my class, I guess I did create that content, right? A lady wrote a rap about me, and if you haven't seen it yet, go follow me on Facebook. Actually, I think it's on YouTube also, and Carrie can attest to this also. Follow me and go scroll back and find out. Go look for the rap that a lady wrote about me. And goodness gracious, Carrie, her name's not in front of me right now. But go look at the rap someone wrote about me. So there was, yeah, that really was fire, wasn't it? Let's get Carrie's comment up here. Come on, computer, do your thing. So there was the class content, which I created. So I guess I did get 3 hours of content. There was this rap created about me, and then there was the Vegemite testing. I did not do what I advocate people do all the time, and you went quiet. Your level up list post was very valuable. Your level up list post. Oh, thank you, Keith. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Kayla, that was her name. Kayla Love is amazing at making raps, and you guys really should go check her out. So really quickly, going through these comments, yeah, I was just slacking, and there's no really good excuse for it. I need to plan better on that because a few reasons. Number one, content creation is a necessity in our world, and I know Carrie and Keith are on here are big fans of that also. We've got to always be creating. Just admit it, you were starstruck, yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. I was starstruck. And I'm not going to lie. I got to meet several members. I didn't realize that my name was known inside the company. So, I got to hang out with Sean for a little bit. He sought me out and talked to me about my content work and thanked me for it. There were just different staff members that do like the 5-day challenges and whatnot that stopped me in the hallway and said, "Thank you, Patrick, for all you do to promote HighLevel." So that felt kind of good. I definitely was starstruck. And, I'm famous in one small community. It's one small event. I'm famous in a room of 10 people. If the other 9 people have no idea who I am, but yeah, and something else. Watching you eat Vegemite. Oh goodness gracious, Charles, did you watch that, man? Oh man, that's embarrassing. You know what? On my next show, I need to pull up that video in a small corner here. But yeah, I guess Charles watched the video, which is embarrassing. But yeah, some of the Australian guys brought some Vegemite, and I tasted it, and that's nasty. That's the kind of stuff I would only put in my mouth if I wanted to wash the taste of something nastier out of my mouth, right? As a matter of fact, Johan even brought me like a cup of coffee afterwards, and yeah, even brought me like a cup of coffee, black coffee afterwards, which I do not like the taste of, to wash that out. It felt like Vegemite tasted to me like a big giant ball of salt, if you will. Okay, that was just some nasty, nasty stuff. And yes, Stephen, you're 100% right, man. I was 100% starstruck for sure because there were just some really smart people there. And just being around smart people just makes me smarter. That's just what I like to. That's just what I like to do. I'm trying to make sure I get these comments up for you guys because you guys are commenting full this morning. And then Keith, yeah, thank you very much. This one was for those of you in the HighLevel world. If you didn't catch this is probably something else I should do next year and be on top of it. This was a completely spontaneous, thing. I didn't realize how important or how useful it would be that I was sharing live updates in the Facebook group as they were put up on stage. I just every single time a slide would go up, I'd look at the headline, I'd type it as quick as I could. That was very good, especially considering the fact that I was doing it from my phone and not my laptop, okay? So I have big fingers, which means when I type, I press like half the keyboard, okay? So getting words, I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but spelling words right and getting grammar right, I have to pause before I share everything because I just make a lot of typos because of mainly my big thumbs. But I did not realize how valuable that was. So good. Hey, man, I'm glad you liked it, Keith. Glad you liked it, Stephen. Man, that was, again, that was, sometimes we can plan the best things. So I guess that was my content, right? But that wasn't planned at all. I just decided to start updating stuff. And yeah, then that's when I met Sean Clark. So he was on stage during that time, right? And then he was on stage during that time. And then after that, we were all out on a break, I think, after the level up day, which was Tuesday, right? We were all out in the hallway. That's when Sean caught me. I had heard he wanted to talk to me before that, and that may have been from you. No, it may have been from somebody else. And there was a VIP session where my name came up. And so that's when I met Sean. He's like, he saw the thread either while he was on stage or probably when after he got off stage, and he came up and complimented me and thanked me for that and thanked me for the overall work that I do to help the community. So that, that felt very good. And I just got to remember to do that next year, maybe like start the thread like 10 minutes before they get up on stage and share the information. So I did get some compliments on that. That was pretty cool. What else? Dreams API. What was your name again? I'm going to scroll up here so I can see it. Inayat Hadi, and you're watching from South Africa. And yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're getting into the custom objects thing. That's a deeply technical topic. So if you can do well, at custom objects, then you're going to be able to make HighLevel do some amazing things. A lot of cool things came out during Level Up Day last week. I can't think of all the changes. Obviously, I knew them at one point, but to me, custom objects is going to be one of the game-changing features of HighLevel. And I don't like that word, game changer, or words, whether you consider that one or two words. I don't like using that word often. Every single time something comes out with a feature in a piece of software, people love to lose their minds and say it's game changer. Oh, this, I can now highlight this and do this with it. It's a game changer. No, most things are not game changers. Most things, based on the skateboard model, are small incremental improvements. Custom objects puts us this close to being able to build like completely custom apps. So right now, HighLevel is a CRM, okay? Customer or client relationship management system. Its main goal is to focus around managing content data and managing opportunities and managing leads. However, with custom objects, we're going to be able to create things like event systems, like with tickets, like tickets and ticket management, event management, inventory management, management of things where you have customers or clients like at a dentist's office or like a veterinarian, and that person has other things that you want to see related. And two of the big examples I like to use are at like a vet where somebody has one or more pets. So you're going to be able to create a custom object called pets, relate that back to contact. So a contact is going to be able to have one or more pets. Or again, something like an event where somebody attends multiple events over the years. So my event management model I'm trying to iron out is contacts and events, and then an intermediate object called tickets, which matches up contacts with events. That's my usage for custom objects as it matures more and more and more. But that, to me, custom objects is the real big game changer of all the stuff that that has come out. Again, Dreams API, thank you for the compliments. I'm not terribly smart. I just hang around smart people. And let's see what Steven said. I loved chatting with him when I went to the mastermind in February. All of the founders came and sat at our dinner table and joked, laughed, and ate with us. Truly down-to-earth people. Yeah, that's what I picked up from Steven. That is, they're a really good group of people. I've met, I think, two of the three founders. I can't remember the other one I met outside of Sean. But I've met the people that do the oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I'm just catching up on the comments here. So, okay, so it's Charles. Oh, okay, yeah, you got to sit down and chat with Karen Hyde. Yeah, she was. I attended her breakout last year. She had a breakout room last year. I attended her because her and her husband were there, and there was a really cool combination. And this year we had some quick, casual, passing conversations. But actually, they're like a franchise, and they actually have a franchise here in Oklahoma City. So every now and then I'll see Karen and her team talk about Oklahoma City because they have an office here someplace. So yeah, the Height family is really, really, really amazing. Yeah, Carrie. Every time a feature comes out, custom objects, it always comes out like 5 minutes too late for people, right? Every people just completed a project where they wish they had that. So now, Carrie, you get the joy of rebuilding custom objects. And the thing I'm really looking forward to is my kind of long-term goal, and I'm not working on it terribly far, is because HighLevel is such a developer-based tool, being able to build out like a completely separate front end for using custom objects in the back end. So, for example, like we are all used to logging into like app.gohighlevel.com, right? Well, imagine if you could just develop your complete own interface for event management, and it uses a HighLevel API to manage the contacts and the tickets. And you give your clients a complete event management system that a complete event management system that doesn't need a database because all the back end is all HighLevel. That's the exciting part to me, is people building out completely new front ends. So you don't even have to use HighLevel. You only have to use HighLevel as the back end. That is what I'm excited about. And custom objects is really going to allow us to do that a lot more than we were before. I've seen people develop some apps where they have to build and maintain a separate database. No, all that stuff is going to be able to be in HighLevel right now. And the automations part hasn't been released, but that's the part I'm really excited for. So people using, like I said, HighLevel for event management, for ticket management, for all kinds of cool things. So for those of you that came in later, because it looks like my view, the number of people watching is getting higher and higher and higher the more I talk. What I was doing is I was using the show to recap kind of my 5 lessons from last week. I was on a trip to go to a conference in Dallas where I was meeting a bunch of brilliant people that you see in the chat here. And I kind of pulled away 5 lessons from that. It would be cool to create custom objects in GHL like classes in Python where we can reuse custom objects. Yeah, you bring up a very good point. If you're somebody who has any kind of programming skills like Python, if you have any kind of programming skills, custom objects, you're just going to love this. And this example she's using right here, she is using right here is using Python. But for me, it's going to be PHP. For other people, it's going to be other things. It's just going to be so amazing there. So just a quick recap, and then we will call it a day on the live stream. I didn't plan my event well enough Monday morning. I didn't communicate well enough with those people, and they didn't communicate well with me. Lesson learned. Probably never use them again. Lead generation. I'm overthinking my lead generation and making it way too hard. I need to simplify that. I need to basically pick an AI model, and somebody gave me this one right here, Hey Levi, but either it's going to be something like a Hey Levi or a Claude directly, or a Chat GPT 4 correctly, and I need to train that AI model very, very well on me and my thoughts, my hopes, wishes, dreams, ambitions, and then I can use that to actually crank out a book, or to help crank out a book, or to build my other social media content. And that's something, again, I started doing that at the event. I am he. Thank you. I apologize for that. Us Americans here, we don't know names all over the world, so I apologize if I offended you on that. That was not my goal. But one of my lessons, I just need to use that AI better to train it better on me. So got to go, Carrie. Take care. Travel. It's travel. I think you should be home by now, right? But if not, travel safe. I just need to pick an AI model and train it better on me. And I got some. Okay, now you see, Charles. Now that I know you like it, let me see. Tom Howard was talking about it earlier, and now I know that you like it, Charles. That's kind of a seller for me. I these days, really quick, and then we'll wrap up. These days, I don't necessarily like to be the guy who's the cutting edge guy, the bleeding edge guy that recommends all these tools. I'm okay with listening to a really smart person like Charles here and just saying, "Oh, Charles likes it." That's enough I need right there. So I've had 2 people that I respect recommend this tool, and so I will probably get into this ASAP. Lead generation doesn't have to be so hard. I can do a better job. Yeah, see, Steven's like me. Yeah, oh, Charles likes it, then that's a no-brainer right there. And they have a white label version, which is very cool. Using AI to write a book. Okay, we talked about the AI thing. I missed the human connections that I got at this event. Meaning I've missed it from going to a previous events. I'm a big attender of tech events like Infusionsoft. Yeah, I'll let Charles answer that question right there from Ixon down there? How is it different from Forms? That's a good question. I'll let Charles answer that. Um, and so, I've attended other dentistry tech events for Infusionsoft and Keep and other tools in NSA. And I really forgot what a social person I was and how much I liked to interact with people. And so attending this event in Dallas reminded me of that. Reminded me that I just love being super social from like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Yeah. Sunday I saw that Keep Soul to Thrive. Yeah. That's kind of a, can something be unexpected but not surprising? I mean, I don't ever want to disparage Keep or Infusionsoft if I can avoid it. But they just weren't, they weren't innovating very much. And part of one of the cliques I hung out with at the HighLevel event is my Infusionsoft people. At some point in time, one of those two big couches down in the lobby um, um, was just full of Infusionsoft people. Not only people that are Infusionsoft were Infusionsoft certified consultants like me, but people who made tools on the periphery, like the Six Divisions of the Worlds, or what were some of the other ones that were? There were a couple other people that were there. Oh, the Plus This team was there. The Memberian people were there. So there was kind of an old Infusionsoft group running around one of the nights, tearing up Dallas. We're bemoaning our woes, laying out our woes about how this HighLevel. Somebody said, I can't remember if it was Melody Moore or Sarah Laws, but somebody said that the HighLevel conference reminded them of the Infusionsoft conferences from like 2012, 2015 timeframe right there. I mean, there were big giant things. There were a ton of people. There were a ton of breakout sessions. And that's the way Infusionsoft conferences used to be, and that's what looks like HighLevel is growing into. So yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, Sunday sold to Keep to Thrive, and something else I learned, which is kind of screwed for the stockholders, is I read a letter this morning where basically Clayton said stock's worth nothing now. If you're a stockholder, sorry, too bad, so sad. Including him, he's a stockholder also. But yeah, I saw a letter this morning that Clay sent to stockholders that basically said, after our debt is paid, and after we pay off our other obligations, and after we pay the more important stockholders like the Class A stockholders, there's nothing left for the common stockholders. So if you're a stockholder in Keep/Infusionsoft, you kind of got a good rogering going on there, and I really apologize for that. That really sucks. And the outside the human interaction, human connection, the last lesson that I will say I learned is I need to do more content ahead planning. Um, when I'm at an event. And I can try to do content creation at the event like some people did, and they were better time managers than me. But I was just so enamored with being social that I didn't want to do that. So I need to do a better job of that. And which is really sad is I just bought the new iPhone, so probably better storage, better compression, better camera, and I still did not take advantage of it. What's even more sad, I can just sit here and talk all day about how sad I am, is I actually brought a whole camera kit with a tripod and lavalier microphones and a nice camera bag and my SD cards because I had to record my own session. So what I did is I had a whole high quality camera production set there. Didn't have lights, but I had mics, cameras, video switchers, tripod. I had all that stuff there, and it sat in my car most of the time. That's really, really sad. When a guy who, yeah, Kayla, yeah, you're right. Social is your content. Embrace it. Yeah, Kayla, you did not fail to create content at all, sister. And yeah, exactly. By the way, this lady right here, go check out her Facebook timeline, and specifically go check out the rap that she did for me that she'd been working on, I think, for a day or two. And that was just amazing. And from what I understand, she was going all around. So if you want kind of a unique jingle for your brand or for your environment, please make sure you reach out to Kayla. If nothing else, connect with her on Facebook. I'm sure she'll be back next year. And she's one of those people that she's hyper technical. It's one of the things I noticed about you, Kayla, is when I see you online, you're like a super technical person when it comes to resolving high level issues. But at the same time, you got the cute hairs going down on your face. You got the big ass sister earrings there. So she's just someone you don't see coming. You look at her and you think, oh, she just looks good and she's just smoking with the lyrics. No, this woman knows her tech skills too. So that is definitely a new connection and definitely a very happy connection I got out of yeah. Hopefully you guys can see the cross comments here. So Keith is over on YouTube and he commented for I'm actually put this comment on the screen right here. This is Keith Bashir and he was not there, Kayla, but he is obviously a fan of yours, and he's someone else that you should probably know because he's really brilliant when it comes to high level stuff. He has a YouTube channel that you should follow also. But yeah, everyone I talked to knew this Kayla lady. And what the coolest thing about me, the coolest thing that came out of it, what the thing that Kayla did is she did it like before the event ever started. So I was showing it to people over and over and over at the event. Kayla attended my Monday morning event, my Monday morning 9 to 1 event, and she, as we wrapped up, she just shared the rap right there in the end, and we got it on video camera because we're not gonna miss up that chance. We're definitely gonna miss up that chance. She spit that out, and everyone has loved it ever since. I put it over on YouTube if you want to go over and look at my YouTube shorts. But she's just definitely one of those people you just don't see coming. She's got a good. She dresses sharp. She's good with the rhymes, and she's highly technical. So she's a triple threat. People look at. We're gonna see definitely more of her. What is it? Oh, 10:07. Look at that. See, this is what people don't realize about me and my content creation. When I get going, I will get going and I will not stop. I could probably talk about this. I could probably talk for another hour or two. Let's see. Let's get this comment on the screen and then we will call it a day. Matter of fact, let me make sure that I'm not like running over into like my first appointment of the day. Just double check. Okay, good. Whew. Okay, I've got a little bit of time. Okay, quick. Let's do the 5 recap again. Oh, let's see what Kayla said here again. Your session was absolutely magic. It set the tone for the entire event. So grateful you put it together, Patrick. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. I might snapshot that as a testimonial for next year. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Here's another comment about it. Yeah, I love the rap. I was a bit confused about it when I thought you would turn musical there, Patrick. Oh no, I do not have the skills that she has. I am dabbling here in my office with the bass. I am dabbling with the keyboard, but she's got the skills on lock right there. Dropping bars, as people would say, dropping bars. So definitely make sure you follow her. Thanks for watching the recap. I didn't know if I had enough content to talk about it for an hour. But it turns out that I did. Okay, yeah. So these 5 things, hopefully they found you useful. I'm going to hop off now and worry about my content for the rest of the day. Everyone, please have a great day. Have a blessed day. Vote, obviously. I don't care which. Obviously, I care which way you vote, but I'm not going to spit that out. Just vote. Voting is one of the most important things we can do in the next, I believe, next 7 days or so, right? Next, I believe, yeah, I've got that date on my calendar someplace. But please make sure you vote. Have a great day. Generate leads. Create content. Keep your life simple. And hug a puppy. Okay? Thank you for watching, everybody. And I will see you Friday morning on the Friday Morning Show. Let's do this.